What is up, everybody, and welcome to another video. I am here at Machinewise HQ, and I'm dropping things, and I'm hanging out with Martine. Hi, Martine.
Peace.
So I heard that you have some things to show me, and I am very interested. I don't know. I think I shared this story partially when I was telling Dalen about the janky Tutori that has come to be, but Martine helped enable me by helping us find these metal spacers on the floor of the finishing room.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. What do you have for me today?
Yeah, so we ended our last little story with the serif, and this started my relationship with Dalen, but we, from there, the first thing I actually designed at Machinewise was a blade, and so it was these guys.
Yes, I remember that.
And so this was the leaf blade.
Yes.
And this was something we did a really limited number of, but it was my first foray into blade design, and it was really exciting.
That's really cool. So this was this actually the first blade you had designed generally?
So this is the first blade I had done in CAD and designed for a machine shop setting. So
wow.
I had done blacksmithing of blades before.
Okay.
And so I had done the whole handmade style of blades and done some hand grinding myself. But this was my first blade I did in a machine shop setting.
I gotta say, as a first go, there's a few things that I would adjust, but overall it is a really, really good design. And in general, I've been very impressed with overall your sort of growth over time in terms of blade designs. They've just become really, really, really good. Especially when you get to the Tutori and Sasori.
Thank you.
That shit's gorgeous.
These handles are actually pretty funny too. They were tumbled before anodization.
Oh.
And so they came out this really glossy finish.
Yeah,
really cool.
I see. It's kind of it's got a weird sort of under texture under the ano.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Cool.
All right. So from there, we have this opus, and so from the first attempt at doing a blade, this was my first go at doing textures.
Yes. So I've seen this a few times while I've been here. This is the diamond texture opus.
And this is something we really want to bring back.
I would love to see this brought back. Oh my god. Yeah, so I think Dalen had a regular opus over here. Yeah. So the original opus had this sort of kind of candy cane pattern to it.
Yeah.
Which is, neat. It's not bad.
It's not my favorite.
But it's not my favorite either. I really think the diamond texture.
And I worked really hard to get the diamond texture to line up and kind of go with the cutouts in the blade or in the handle.
Yeah.
And fit with that overall aesthetic.
I think it really does. I think it comparatively to the original, this just feels a little more complete as an idea. It feels like a more complete concept, and also just in the hand it feels very satisfying.
I think it would be way too grippy.
Yeah.
But it's actually a really good amount of grip.
Yeah, diamond texture patterns can be very hit or miss, I've found, in terms of how grippy they are and how much they sort of feel. I had back in the day the Flytanium 51, the Gunner grip scales.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know about those.
Yeah.
And they were a diamond texture pattern like this, but they were literally sharp
Peaks. Oh man.
And it was like sandpaper to the hand. It was so much. And so while they looked awesome on camera, I did not really like flipping them at the end of the day. Whereas this is a super satisfying, honestly, it reminds me a lot of the way the serif feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Wildly enough, even though it's not the same texture as the serif, it has that same feel to the hand.
What's cool is it's the same vector angle as the serif.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So literally the
Yeah, the angle of the vector that goes down the serif.
Yeah.
This matches that angle.
That's cool. Yeah, this is probably my favorite opus I have flipped. And it's almost exclusively because of the texture and the way that increases. For me, the opus never looked like something that I super connected with.
Yeah.
Where it's funny how such a small change actually makes me go, ooh.
It really completes the design.
It really does, yeah. That's sick. I really hope you guys do make more of that.
Yeah, it's something where we just need to get the palette touched off and fixed up for the W1000. And once we have that done, we can put them into production.
Cool.
And so then we get into the brothers of the Oris.
The
and
brothers.
so these are not the first product I designed fully for Machinewise, but this was the first Balisong endeavor I took with Machinewise.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys were really designed with a very clear intent for me, and that is that Dalen and I both love the Tsunami.
Yeah.
And there are things we get frustrated about with the Tsunami.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to do our take on a competitive flipper of this a little bit shorter size, but just going all out for performance while keeping that Machinewise novelty.
Totally.
And so this was our foray into that style.
I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. The Tsunami is, at this point, a well-respected balisong that has a lot of those, like, you know, it's got that lighter balance, it's got that fast and quick but nimble feel, and like the Tutori, especially for me, really does hit all of those boxes in a way that I think is also extremely unique from the Tsunami. Like, I can definitely see the inspiration, but it doesn't feel derivative in any way, shape, or form. While at the same time, I think it does complete a lot of that like goal of getting something that is very performance-oriented, something that I would like. If I picked any knife right now to be flipping at like the Blade Show Bally Comp, it would either be my Tutori or the Tsunami. Like, it would be one of the two. And I think that's really, really good.
And so the Sasori is kind of an interesting one where the Tutori was designed first. And the Tutori actually went through design, prototyping, and completion to it. This is the first prototype to that level first. And then we were flipping this and we were like, you know what? It would be really cool if we had an aluminum channel version of this.
Yeah.
And so the Sasori was done basically taking all the geometry of the Tutori and saying, well, what happens if we connect the handles? What was interesting about that is that presented some challenges of weight distribution.
Yeah.
And so we needed to have no blade whack inside of the channel, but we needed to get as much weight into the channel as possible, which is where that interesting cutouts in the channel came from.
Interesting. So that's kind of accommodating the sort of the shape of the blade.
Right, because this design really shouldn't work in aluminum. This was a design from the Tutori that was supposed to be titanium. Titanium's more dense than aluminum.
Yeah.
And so aluminum ballies tend to be a little chunkier to get that weight into them.
Right.
And so the Sasori had to overcome that to still have this slim profile, getting titanium weights put into it and trying to get as much weight into the handles as possible to still have a balance that kind of works.
That's so
But it makes this bally a little funky to flip.
I never noticed the actual like indentations in there. Like it is that on all of them?
That's on every aluminum Sasori.
That's so wild. I never noticed that on the like the anodized version. I just don't think it ever stood out to me as something to really pay attention to. But what I think is funny is that honestly, the aluminum Sasori is probably my favorite aluminum balisong ever. Like, there are a lot of different aluminum balisongs that have existed, but out of them, this is definitely at least in the top tier. I'd say this and the Crackerakin are neck and neck in terms of my sort of favorites of all time, because this thing did a lot in terms of like, I think you're totally right. It has that like, that very premium feel of it being small and light and thin and like feeling very professional in my hands, whereas like a Crackerakin, while it's great, is a little bit chunkier. It's a little more square. It kind of follows how the original Squid Trainer was, just taken to the nth degree and made into, you know, a really nice thing. Like I think that's a great example, right? Like these handles here, it's not a huge difference, but it's there. Like it is a little less wide. It's a little less thick. It's in just a number of ways sort of tuned to be very ergonomic.
Yeah, and this has taper just like the Serif, where it actually tapers down in thickness.
So it's thicker up down here, and then it's thinner by the actual pivots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this is a product that actually has a really sad story with it, in that we launched the aluminum Sasori and we did about 2 batches of them. and then both our aluminum anodizers in Phoenix both just decided that they didn't want to do good work anymore. And so we had several batches of these guys we would send out, and then they would just come back ruined. The dimensions would be completely out, because with aluminum, you etch it before you anodize it.
Yeah.
And the anode is actually more like a dye than it is plating like it is on the titanium.
That's why it can be any color, but you have to, it's a little more of an intense process.
And so we got handles back, and our Zen pins would just fall through the handles.
Oh my God.
And it didn't matter if we used we have oversized Zen pins that we use for warranties. If your Zen pins wear out, we can throw an oversized in there and it'll still work.
Yeah.
Well, those would fall through too.
Oh my God.
And so these handles just had to go in the garbage. There was nothing to do to save them.
So they literally were just like frying handles, like just etching the crap out of them.
Yeah. And so we asked them to etch less, and then we got handles back, and they looked like they had water drops all over them, just super splotchy, weird colors, and they didn't meet our standards, and we didn't feel that even if we were to sell it for $50, you'd be getting something subpar. And so the aluminum Tutori is something we really want to bring back, but we just haven't found an aluminum anodizer that we really trust yet. And we're kind of burned on aluminum. And so we've been focusing on the titanium Tutori and the Tutori while we go through this process of sending what little handles we do out to different places to get anode, and they come back and we see the quality and we talk to them about consistency and their batch sizing and what they could do for us, because we really want this to come back. The original intent of this product was to be affordable and be aluminum and be your really like premium aluminum trainer.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of went away.
Yeah.
Really quietly.
And it was, I was always sad about that because like it was genuinely one of my favorite aluminum trainers.
Yeah. And so this is something that it will come back. I can't promise when, but we're working on it and it will come back someday.
Okay, good. That makes me very happy to hear because, as I said, I really love it. So when you were sending out, you were sending out, hundreds of handles at a time?
Yeah, so we would do about 4 weeks of production, which is a couple hundred handles, and then we'd send them out, and they'd come back, and either they'd have that pin drop issue, the weights would rattle around in the end of the handles, you couldn't get a good tune because your channel gap is now too big.
Right.
So all these major issues, and so we would just take them to an aluminum recycler and give them to them, and get our $20 back and
oh my God,
start again.
So you're just throwing money away basically when that happens.
Yeah, and it sucks, but it's part of running a business, and it's something that at first you just kind of have an expectation of scrap and blemishing.
Yeah, something will happen to some of this, but when it happens consistently every time you send them out,
it really gets kind of hard, and so that's why the Tutori moved to the titanium Tutori, which I don't have here for you.
Yeah.
But we moved it to the titanium Tutori because we can do titanium entirely in-house.
Yeah.
So we were really burned on sending stuff out of house. We're like, all right, we need to make a knife or a version of this that we can do entirely in-house. We can anodize it in-house. William really wants us to do aluminum anodization in-house. I don't know if that's ever going to happen because it's a really noxious thing.
Yes.
It produces a lot of gases. But maybe. And certainly it'd be very Machinewise of us to bring it in-house and do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think the titanium Tutori, while I do like it, it took me a minute to figure out what I liked about it. Because it's very different. I think something I had gone into, and so I think it makes sense when you tell me about the sort of the intention of these products being a performance-based flipper like the Tutori, or not the Tutori, like the Tsunami. Thank you. The titanium Tutori doesn't accomplish that, in my opinion. And so at first I was like, this is weird because if that going from what this was to the titanium Tutori being just a completely different thing, initially I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. Whereas once I sort of understood, wait a minute, the way that it comes default is with the heavy spacers.
Yes.
Maybe I should change my way I'm looking at this, and then thinking about it oh yeah, this is more like a classic Balisong balance, a classic old school 5-ounce, like, heavy balisong, but to the nth degree with the insane tuning, insane tolerances, then I was like, wait a minute, I actually do like this balance because it's the same shit I have on my Alien and all this other stuff. And I just was thinking about it the wrong way because I was like, basically, I was like, wow, this is a really bad Tsunami, instead of being like, wow, this is a really good Chab.
Exactly. So, and what's interesting about that is, like, so the Tutori was designed first. All right, in this dimension of handle, we made something that works in aluminum, and now we're jumping back to titanium in this exact handle, but now having to weight relief. So now the channel cut doesn't have those raises. We actually really got the channel wall thickness to be quite thin. And then we had to do the speed channeling to try and get weight out of it. This tap channel cutout moved up.
Yeah.
To get more weight out of it.
So you were trying to get more weight out now,
now
because...
we're trying to pull as much weight out of the handles and, like, without compromise. And there was no compromise allowed to put a hole in the handle. We weren't going to have a hole pattern. This was something that we really wanted to stick to from the Seraph. The Seraph is a no-hole patterned Bali. Yeah. And so we wanted these two and the Taisasori as well to have no hole pattern in them. We wanted them to be texture forward.
And I really like them being texture forward. I mean, like, so the thing I think I likened this to at Blade Show when it was first shown to me, I was like that reminds me a lot of the Talisong Pro, which I think maybe, as far as I'm aware, like 5 have existed of that, where Eldon basically took, the over diamond pattern of the original Talisong and then, like, inverted it and put it into a teardrop cutout thing. And so this is a thing that I haven't seen on very many balisongs. Like, that was the first time I'd seen it, and this is the second time I've seen a similar idea. And I really like it. It's really nice because it gives you, like, this nice area of grip, and then, but it's subtle, it's inside, and then outside you have these smooth areas. Like, as a textural experience, just holding this thing and kind of feeling it is really nice. And I feel the same way about the Tutori, but I will admit, after a long enough time of flipping the Tutori, it does start to wear on the hands.
100%.
And I think over enough time of, like, playing with it and not having it be, like, my Tutori is still relatively new. I flipped it a lot, but I haven't flipped it, like, as much as some of my other things.
They definitely soften up over time.
Totally. But this is pleasant from the first moment to the last moment of feeling it. Like, it in the same way that the Tsunami stood out to me of, like, oh, I feel like I'm petting a cat, the way I'm just sitting here, like, feeling it. Yeah. This did that.
That's awesome. Well, that's all I have for you today.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing these wonderful things with me. I highly appreciate it. I am very excited to... I talked with Dalen about talking about the what was created with the Tutori that I have now. I wanted to go just, like, over to your scrap bins and just kind of look through them on camera, because I think it would be funny to do so. So I might go do that in just a moment. But I am very thankful that you showed me all this cool stuff. Do you mind if I try to get a thumbnail with it?
Go for
how many can I hold at the same time? Yeah. There we go. Oh no. Oh yes. Yeah, baby. We're still going. How many can I fit?
This one's sharp. Be careful.
All right. Oh, God help me.
I think we're there.
We're there. All right. Okay. Is this a good thumbnail? Am I doing YouTube right? Do you guys like? Do you like content? Do you like content? Am I doing it right? All right. I feel so. I shouldn't have done this. Thanks for watching. Peace.